Hey friends. So I wanted to share an epiphany I had just now, and hopefully it resonates with you as well. So yesterday it was snowing quite hard here in northern Nevada, in Reno, Nevada, and I decided that Caesar needed his walk in the afternoon, so I threw on my Sorel snow boots and we journeyed out into the storm. And so there's a path in our neighborhood that's about 3/4 of a mile one way, so we just kind of go to the top and come back. But because I was being lazy yesterday, I decided that instead of picking up my feet and stomping in the snow, that I was just gonna kick my feet through the snow like a lazy little 3-year-old, 4-year-old, through the snow and create some type of trail, create some type of path. So I was the first person to go on the path because the snow is about 4 or 5 inches deep. And I created my little path. And so we got to the top. And I created, and Caesar's whining because he just got his walk. And walked back the exact same way, kicking and trudging the whole way through, kind of deepening the path, if you will. And then I left, went back home. So today, just now, as Caesar and I were walking on his path, I noticed that the path that I had paved yesterday had been hardened down, and it had a completely perfect little 3-foot wide, maybe 4-foot wide path. Usually that path kind of it twists and it turns, but I made sure, because I like walking straight and I'm kind of OCD, that I made the path perfectly straight as I walked it and just kept trudging straight. The path today was the exact same path all the way, the whole three-quarters of a mile, maybe 3/4 of a mile. And I thought to myself, I finally understand the little quote that says something along the lines of, "Do not go where the path may lead. Instead, make your own path and leave a trail for others to follow," or something along those lines. And I finally understood it in like a tangible way. I thought to myself, just because I was kind of bored, kind of didn't want to lift my legs up and those Sorel boots get heavy, I just trudged through. And because I had already laid a path down, others found it easier to walk through. And then each one compacted the path and made it stronger and deeper, until I looked down and I just thought about how many people had walked that path in literally one day. In 24 hours, how many people had walked the path with their dogs, with their children, I got it. I understood the importance of following our own path. So that was my epiphany. My then awakening, if you will, my reawakening was thinking about how important it is to either follow your own path, a completely separate path that somebody else has not walked, which is really hard to find, or finding a path that others have been on that maybe aren't as well walked, and following along with that path until you come to the break in the path where you can branch one direction or the other direction, or continue straight, or maybe take a little turn or a little turn. You catch my drift? So following your heart enough to follow your own path. Now some people are going to say, "Zach, what is my path? How do I know my path?" I believe wholeheartedly that your path is the thing that brings you closest to joy in the act of the path. In the act of walking the path, what brings you closest to the deepest part of joy within yourself? Some people's path, I feel like, is to be a parent. Some people's path is to be a dancer, an artist, a musician, an athlete, a mechanic, a bus driver, a business person, an entrepreneur, a lawyer. So many different paths, but the path that is right for you is the one, as Alan Watts would say, if you were to make $10,000, if the universe were to give you $10,000 a month, without question, for the remainder of your life, you wouldn't have to do anything to get it, you would just get it. What is the thing that would make you feel most alive when you do it? Don't say sex or drugs, it's not allowed. I'm just kidding. Well, if you want to have sex and drugs, I guess you could do that too. But I think that's we'll say that's a false sense of joy. So the thing that truly brings you the most fulfillment in your heart when you're doing it, that the enthusiasm is palpable from you. If you've never found anything like that you found enthusiastic about in that way, I would suggest you begin to meditate, or I would suggest you begin to write, and ask yourself what you truly love. Most people know what they love, they just won't allow themselves to accept what they love and to follow through with that. So, yeah. Make your own path if it's not yet walked. Or find somebody who has already walked your path and maybe take a little guidance on what they did. Follow along with what they did. For me, my path has always been to open spiritually, to awaken spiritually, and not only for that, for myself, but to help others, to teach others to do that. And in the process of teaching, again, learning and honing those skills for myself. But that, for me, has always been mine. My path was to be of service, constant service. I think a lot of us have come to be of service to humanity. But to me, I felt that I've always been ornery and a shithead enough. Excuse my language. My mom says people don't like it when I cuss on these videos. But to be ornery enough to listen to what my heart is telling me, forgo the opinions of the others around me, ask for the advice of others who I respect and who I trust. There's a difference from listening to opinions and asking for advice. That's important. But asking for advice from those that I trust and those that I feel can help me and benefit me. And then sharing that information like I do with you guys here. So hopefully this video inspired you in some way. You know, just think about being yourself. Think about being authentic and honest with yourself, truly living from the deepest part of who you are, of who you feel you truly are. Does that make sense? Not the outside perspective, not the trauma, not all the emotional traumas that have happened to you, not all the things that your parents and society has programmed into you, but who do you want to be? Who do you want to be at the end of your life when you're at the very edge of this experience and you look back and you think, man, I lived a great life, or I wish I would have done this differently, or I wish I would have told this person what I felt, or I wish I would have expressed myself differently, or I wish I would have whatever. I hope you come to that realization now, so that when you do get to the end of your life, you can say, wow, I helped blaze a trail for others to follow, And even if I didn't know it, I had quite an impact on the world. And in whatever capacity, really all it comes down to is us being authentic with ourselves, expressing ourselves from our heart, not our ego, not our traumatized ego, and living from that, expressing verbally, but also expressing just the energy that we are, letting the God source, the Atma, the soul self, the inner being, the higher self, to move through us, and being the catalyst and the vessel for which life may transform. So, I hope you walk your path authentically. That's my hope for you. Ask yourself who you want to be, and be that, and live that, and share that, and the whole world will change. Love you guys. Thanks for watching as always. Talk to you later. Bye.